We're going looking at this Snapfire rank 1 and playing on mid lane. This is what's really interesting about the hero, and this mid lane pick is becoming a lot more popular over the past few weeks. Now, what you have that's quite interesting about this hero is that you have first off Scatter Blast, which you can use at the start of the laning stage to always ensure that you get the last hit onto the range creep and that the enemy won't be able to deny it. This is quite similar to Mars in the offlane, who can also use a spell to just burst down the range creep and also get the last hit at the same time. We also have the cookie, which can catch like the invoker off guard there and got a pretty good amount of harass, as well as the creep wave pushing in on invoker, which does damage to him. Now you end up seeing the build is pretty much going shared tangos plus a soul ring, and she even has the extra tangos ready to buy if she needs them, if she's getting harassed a lot in lane. But invoker probably won't be able to put out much harass on the first couple of levels until he gets like more. So as well, you can use the cookie and the creeps. This is just stuff that people are not used to playing right now, and it definitely catch a lot of players off guard because they may have never laned against Snapfire mid before, especially if you try it in your own matches. So Snapfire ended up going to bottle here, and we end up seeing her pushing the creep wave here. She uses the tower to kill the creep wave quite quickly, and then goes straight into the jungle. Now when it comes up to the time to stack, she ends up stacking and pretty much getting 2 camp kills very quickly, and uses the maximum damage on the Scar Blast. If you know how the Scar Blast works, you get maximum damage at the close range, so making sure you do that, especially when killing a stack. Now here she's ready to go for a bounty rune. She's pretty much kind of like filling up constantly, and this is one of the weaker points of the hero in the laning stage and mid, is that it's very mana intensive. So something like the EMP can burn her mana pretty substantially and lower her impact in lane, and you end up seeing how much she's able to nuke the lanes. That's really good for being able to go and rotate to other lanes. She uses the arcane rune just before she uses teleport, and here we have an ultimate, and we end up seeing like the range of this ultimate is pretty insane, so you can get a lot of damage out, and this guy ends up getting away with Slardar. However, the Lena probably hasn't realized that this is a mid Snapfire and not in like a position 4. Usually people expect a Snapfire rotating to the lane wouldn't have that much damage, and caught this Lena off guard. And now Snapfire can go back to the mid lane and farm here, and just as her teleport is off cooldown again, it is like a very short cooldown teleport because of the arcane rune, she's able to rotate top here, and this is very quick to rotate to the other lane and gets a quick kill. So pretty much within the space of what, like a minute or less, she's been in 3 different lanes. So that's quite substantially like fast, and that's where the arcane rune really comes into good use, and prioritizing runes here and trying to get them as much as possible instead of trying to take down the tower. So the Snapfire has this trusty shovel as well as clarities to boost her back up, because she didn't get any runes at that point. So just as she's moving around the jungle, it kind of keeps her up and ready to fight at any point, because if she's walking around with 0 mana, she can't do stuff like this, which just come in with her ultimate. And this is a big advantage of the heroes, that you don't really need to have really good positioning. All you need to do is just teleport to wherever the fights are, and you have this insanely big range. Now ends up being that Earth Spirit goes for into Invoker on mid. Snapfire literally just comes in, throws a cookie, and she wasn't even ready for this because she was jungling, and she nearly gets the kill there. If the Invoker had committed onto the Earth Spirit to try and kill him, maybe the Snapfire might have got a kill there if it was a lower skill Invoker. Now do bear in mind that these are all high immortal players in this match, so the Invoker is pretty smart to know exactly how far he can push his hero and what he can't do. So Snapfire is just after finishing her Aghanims here at 14 minutes, and instantly she gets the regen rune here she had in her bottle, and she tosses Earth Spirit in. Now this is a 1.5 second stun. One Earthshaker jumps in, and pretty much we have Slardar counter initiating here, as well as the Husker teleporting in, and pretty much this is causing a big distraction for the enemy team, and Snapfire goes straight back into farming. Now the Earth Spirit actually ends up committing a little bit far here, because they end up like kind of pushing the tower. The glyph gets used, and he never rolled and hit anyone. Now we end up seeing Snapfire walking over to Earth Spirit, and the reason why is because you can gobble up the Earth Spirit again and save him, so he can't take any damage, similar to Lifesteal or Lifestealer's ultimate. So the power rune is just about to spawn here, 16 minutes. Snapfire gobbles up CK, decides to toss him across the map, and because the animation takes so long to fly him across, it ends up being actually a pretty bad toss here. And Snapfire is sent so far back here now, there's no way the enemy can counter initiate or cancel her like channeling. So pretty much Snapfire gets off, you know, a lot of hits there onto her gobbles. She tries to chase after Lina, but Lina has too fast of movement speed with her fiery souls and she can escape pretty easily. If Lina committed further position there, the scatter blast maximum damage probably would have just finished her off with just a spell plus one right click. Now Snapfire goes straight back to farming, and this is really what you want to be doing. This is once the team fight's over, you leave it. However, you can gobble up your teammate and save them and toss them back close to the fountain and get them to heal up faster, and even kind of farming at the same time as saving your teammate there. So this is hyper efficiency. Now when we talk about item choices, we have Boots of Travel, and this has become a quite common item on mid heroes in the more recent patches because of heroes like Arc Warden, and any split pushing hero can be really countered heavily if you have, let's say, a hero like Snapfire, really high kill potential plus one other initiator. The other initiator could be Spectre, it could with a diffusal blade, it could just be a Slardar farming in another lane, but all you need is just one other hero and you can pick off whoever's split pushing. It makes it really hard for the enemy to show themselves in the side lanes, and pretty much this mid laner can keep teleporting everywhere on the map wherever anyone shows up, so it's really scary to play against. So here's another thing you can do. You can kind of just farm a creep wave if your ultimate or your gobble is off cooldown, because it has a relatively low cooldown, especially with the arcane rune. Now here Husker is showing on bottom. Snapfire decides to teleport in and just go straight onto him, and CK can do some basic crowd control and guarantee a kill on this. It's very easy to hit your gobbles with a hero like CK on your team. Really any support hero would do that can stun in a short duration. We have a gobble to throw in AA here and pretty much just follow up on top of it. And this is what you can do when you see the enemy split on the map like this, and pretty much Snapfire can just teleport to wherever they are. And really this brings a huge amount of momentum to your team when you can do stuff like this. And as well, like, Spectre is also a great hero because with Snapfire, because when Spectre is chasing after someone, what Spectre wants is to get that little bit closer. So if you throw a cookie onto Spectre, or even throw Spectre into a fight, that can sometimes be a good way of like chasing after an enemy near, like probably near the later parts of the fight when you're finishing up at whoever's left alive. So if we have a look at Spectre's items here, we end up seeing that Spectre is pretty beefy. At 26 minutes into the game, we have Manta, Skadi, Blade Mail, and Midas. This is absolutely crazy, and a lot of this is credit to due to Snapfire creating plenty of space and making it very easy for Spectre to farm. And if we even look at Snapfire's farm, has higher net worth than Spectre, so that's quite insane. And this is definitely maybe an underrated build or playstyle on Snapfire, and maybe might even be the best way. So if you like this video and you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe.